Have you ever hit the wall during a marathon? What is hitting the wall? I'd like to share with you 5 good tips to avoid hitting the wall with your next marathon. All right, guys, let's get after it. What is hitting the wall? What that is, basically, when you run a marathon, it's about 26.2 miles, and on average you burn about 100 miles during the marathon. And so then within our liver, we store about 1,800 to 2,000 calories in our liver. And so around that 20-mile mark is when you would hit the wall. And what that means is basically you run out that glycogen, all that good sugar that is available energy, and then basically your body kicks into the fat storage. And so that fat storage is a lot slower burning fuel, so your body is basically shutting down, not shutting down, but basically say, hey, you gotta go slower, we can't go that fast anymore. And so if you've been used to depending on that glycogen while training, and you're not used to kind of that slow burning fat, your body will slow down. And so again, within each mile you burn 100 calories. So again, roughly around that 20-mile mark. And what happens is basically you start having cramping. Your muscles will spasm, and whenever you take a step, and so it kind of forces you to slow down. Sometimes even walking. My first marathon, this happened around mile 18 or so, where I couldn't run as much. I had the endurance, the heart was going okay, definitely it was this, basically I could not go any further without my legs cramping up. And what I did was I took off way too fast during the marathon, and that's one of the things that you want to be careful of. And whenever you first start a marathon, you're really excited, you want to go, you want to keep up with people. It's like, I think I can do this pace. You have all this adrenaline going and you feel great, and then what happens is you start to kind of feel the burn, and you can't go as much as you can. And so that definitely can help happen. My last marathon, actually, I took off way too fast. I was trying to get under 3:20, and it didn't happen, because around mile 13 I had to slow way down in order to keep a decent pace in order to finish the marathon. So let's talk about 5 ways to avoid that. Number 1 is make sure you're fueling during your marathon. That's very important. Fuel before. Usually I like to try to eat breakfast about 3 hours before, and maybe even taking a gel about 20 minutes before you go and run the marathon. And then make sure that you practice this during your training too, because your body will not be used to it if you don't do it during practice and you go and do it during the race. And making sure that you know during the race what type of fuel that they're going to provide, so that we can practice that type of fuel, because maybe something differently that you have been practicing. And so what I do normally, every 4 hours I take in a gel. No matter what, if I don't feel hungry, or if I don't need it, I just go ahead and take it, and then go on, drink some water with it. And once I go by the aid station, also if they have Gatorade, I go ahead and take the Gatorade as well. And so that's something that you can kind of help out, keep that nutrition through your body, so that way when you're burning calories, you're just replacing that calorie, something that has good electrolytes in it, something that will give you that energy to go. Sometimes some of them have caffeine, that does seem to kind of help out, boost you up a little bit. And so number 2 is don't start off too fast with your marathon. That's something that you can try to avoid. It's really easy to go off faster than what you've trained, and you will burn out. And definitely try not to bank those miles before, because you'll definitely burn out on that. Number 3 is maybe start off slower than your race pace, and do a third of the race. We call it thirds. And so basically it's first 10 miles go a little slower than your race pace. Second 10 miles go your race pace, And then the last 10K, you do faster than race pace. And so you can kind of think of that theory. If you can, sometimes it's, you're expended by the time you get there, but if you can think about doing that, and maybe even train when you're doing your long runs, do the first third, second third, and last third, or last 10K, or whatever it is, to get you geared towards doing that, and that way you're not burning yourself out, burning up all of your glucose. Again, what a marathon is running how long you can, running as long as you can without stopping, and that's kind of what we want to do, be able to finish and get that time. Those times will definitely come as you get more endurance. You remember, the aerobic engine takes a long time to build, and that's something that you definitely want to respect. It definitely will take a little time to get you to the times that you want. And number 4 is one of my favorites, is definitely do strength training, because yes, this is a marathon and you're using your aerobic system, but also you're using your neuromuscular system, muscular endurance. So those muscles have to have strength in order to withstand that stress of 26.2 miles. So definitely do your strength training. That is very, very important. I've got several links that do talk about strengthening for runners. I think is very important there. And number 5 is what everybody should be doing, is having fun. Now that not necessarily you may still, if you're having fun, you may still hit the wall, but I think that's going to kind of give you an idea. Let's go have fun. This is, we're most of us are amateur runners, and we're not out there as a job. You're not out there trying to break a record or whatever. Just go out there and have fun. That's what it is. See what you can do and test your limits at the same time, definitely. So those are 5 great things you can do to help avoid hitting the wall during your next marathon. All right, guys, let me know in the comments. Have you hit the wall before? Let me know. I'd like to know what your experience was. It's something that I've experienced myself too, I've done like 11 marathons in my running career so far, and it's definitely not fun, but it's something that happens. It's probably going to happen if you run more than one marathon in your life. At some point you're probably going to hit the wall, and at least you kind of know to try to avoid that with those 5 good tips. All right, guys. Hope everyone's doing well out there. Keep safe, keep running, and we'll see you next time.